Hello you guys, this is Rita with Restyle Renewed, and I thought I would just come on and give you guys a tip to do with this piece of furniture I just got, and I'm going to be transforming. So this was painted a light green, bright green I should say, and I don't know if you can tell, but it was painted with a roller, so I can see all the roller marks, so it kind of makes it textured. So I want to get rid of that. I want this to be smooth. So what I was doing was I was sanding this, but let me show you what happens when something has been waxed. So you can see the wax I'm trying to sand off. Well, I'm trying to sand it so that this is smooth. So what happens though is when you wax something, the wax is just sticking to my sander. So I'll be going through a million of these sheets trying to get through that wax to the paint. So I don't want to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to put my sander down, and I am going to take off the wax with mineral spirits. If you don't do that, this is what you're going to encounter, and you will be going through sheet after sheet of your sanding pads. So what I'm doing now is I just took off the wax on the top of this, and I'm now going to take the wax off the rest of it. So it's just mineral spirits is what I'm using, and this takes, I don't know if you can tell, but this takes the wax off, and this will help me to sand, and so the wax won't cling to my sander, right? So this will help you immensely if you do this to get rid of the wax. If you're trying to sand something, get rid of your wax first, because it will take you forever if you don't do that. And then once I get the wax off, it'll be way easier to sand this smooth. I mean, rollers are great because it makes you go faster, right? But rollers do leave marks. If you're using a roller that is, the hairs, sometimes the rollers will leave texture marks, right? So you have to be careful. If you want it to be textured, then it's great. If you don't want it to be textured, your look, then you're going to need to sand down. Even after you roll the paint, you're going to need to sand it down to get a smooth finish, which is what I want for this piece. I'm going to have to really give this some power, so let me change positions. So this is my tip of the day. Take that wax off first before you sand. That is a really good tip. So this is an oriental piece I just picked up. The whole front, I'll show you, has carvings, and I'm going to give it a totally different look. But it requires, and I'm using, in the sand I showed you, the sandpaper, that was even 80 grit. So this is 80 grit, and even with 80 grit you can see the wax is just sticking to my pad, right? So that's not going to work. So that's why I'm taking off all the wax first before I get in here and try and sand this smooth. So that looks much better now. I've removed the majority of the wax, it looks like. And I'll show you what the front looks like. So this is the front. Hopefully you guys can see. It's going to be a really fun piece to do. I'm going to totally change it up from what they did. Sorry, my phone is breaking. So, I don't know if you guys can tell, if you can see how textured this is. That's from a roller that they've most likely used. So that is what I am doing. Taking off all this wax. It's very time consuming, but it is important because it will save you going through a whole bunch of sanding sheets. And so I want to get this all smooth. I don't want a textured look for what I'm going to do to this piece. So I have to remove all this wax, and I don't have to go too hard in here. Well, this is going to come off quick. This will come off quick with my toothbrush. And the reason why I'm going to try and get off all the wax in this carved area is because I'm doing something special right here, and the finish I'm going to put on here, the product I'm going to end up putting on all the carvings, I need the wax removed in order to put that product on. So that is why I am scrubbing with my toothbrush. So I'm just using mineral spirits, and it is taking off the wax. So that is what I'm working on. I'm really excited about this piece. It's going to be totally different. See if I can show you guys. I know the sun, it's probably hard to see because the sun is shining. So can you see the whole front is this carvings? Oh, wait a minute. With what do you remove the wax? Oh, it's mineral spirits. It's just mineral spirits. You can just get it at Home Depot, and it's the perfect product to take off the wax. I don't know, I didn't do this paint and waxing, so I don't know what they used for the wax, but it could have been Annie Sloan, I'm not sure. I know her waxes are popular, and I use her wax all the time, but I don't know what other people use. It's going to be amazing, you guys. Wait until you see what I do with this piece. And this is going to dry. This will naturally dry. I'm outside working. I'm just going to dip this in here. And I'll take the handles off. But it's really on there, like the wax is really on there. Yes, it is a lot of work, but it's worth it because, you know, it's initially a lot of work, but otherwise I don't want to go through a ton of sandpaper. That's really expensive. Sandpaper is so expensive. So in order to save money, because like I showed you, the wax is just clinging to the sandpaper, right? That's not going to work. So I am going to have to, and you can see the drawers up here have all sorts of wax in them. And you should wear gloves. Don't do what I do. So I'm just going to let the air dry this. So there's 3 panels, so yeah, it's going to take me a while. I won't leave the camera running the whole time. I just want to show you guys what I'm working on and my tip with mineral spirits. So there you go, you guys. So that is what I'm working on. And my other tip is, if you are rolling on your paint, try to get a roller that is going to leave you a smooth finish, not a textured finish. The spongy ones are really give you a smoother finish. And oftentimes you do have to sand, even though you're rolling on your paint, you do have to sand in order to get a smooth finish, if you want a smooth finish. So that's it, you guys. I'm going to keep going. Probably it's going to be a couple more hours of this. And there's a couple tips for you. Thanks, you guys.